As promised, here's a little video to go over some of the material that we will be working on in this week where our class does not meet. So happy Labor Day. I'm sorry that this means that you've got a lot of work to do on your own, but I will check in with you via email, and I'll also make myself available for meetings as much as I can next week. So this week we are going to shift our focus to comparative writing. So when we talk about comparative writing, we are looking at similarities and differences. Okay, you don't have to just focus on one or the other. In fact, you'll probably find that the essay you're writing lends itself to looking at both. So with comparative writing, you've got two methods of organization. You've got block and point by point. In a block formatted comparison, you talk all about the first item and then all about the second item. Many students prefer to use the alternating or point-by-point way of organizing a comparison. So if you're going to talk about item A and item B, your first paragraph would talk about point 1 for both items A and B. Second would then talk about point 2 for both items A and B. You see what I mean? And a lot of students tend to find that this method works a little better for them. One's not better than the other, but a lot of students do prefer the alternating because they usually find that there's a little bit less writing involved. So what we're doing for this assignment is comparing how two advertisements for similar products get their points across. So I recommend that you work with ads for similar products that are directed to different audiences. Okay, for instance, you've probably found that Allstate Insurance and Progressive deliver their information to very different audiences. So take the ad that you worked with for the first ad essay and choose another ad from a similar product. We're still only working with print ads here to keep things as simple as possible. So what you have to create for this week first is the outline for this ad comparison. And once you have submitted that, I'll take a look and get back to you with some feedback. I will mention that your thesis for your comparison is important. It's not sufficient to say that the items are similar yet different. Okay, you need to have a specific thesis about the areas of similarity. Everything is similar yet different. I and a filing cabinet are similar yet different. We can both be over 5 feet tall and have information, but that comparison doesn't help anyone. So you want to make sure that you do really focus on meaningful comparisons. Often it's good to show surprising similarities between two items that are apparently different, or surprising differences between two items that appear to be very different. So think about that as you work on organizing your comparative writing. If your ads seem to be similar, but you notice something that indicates they are to different audiences, that could be a great direction to go in. Or if you find that your ads are to very similar audiences, but they take different ways of getting their point across, you could write about that as well. I also wanted to mention that I returned your last writing assignments. I think I got all of those back yesterday. And make sure that you look at the comments in the essay. Please do take advantage of the Writing Center, or if you have time to schedule a meeting to come in and sit down with me and look at your assignment. I know some of you got a bit off track with the last assignment, maybe writing about the subject rather than analyzing the article, and I want to make sure that you do focus on the proper information for the assignment. So if you feel like you need to come in and talk to me, we can certainly do that. And I also encourage you, take your graded essays to the Writing and Reading Center. That can be a really good way to get some additional feedback and help you improve for your next essays. So that's a brief overview of what we have going on for this week. If I get a lot of questions or concerns, I'll certainly post another video or post some announcements, and I'll try to turn around your outlines as quickly as I can. So if you want some feedback sooner, you can submit them earlier, and I'll get back to you pretty quickly. I am a little behind on grading for one of my 16-week online classes, so I am going to be working on that, but I will get to your outlines just as quickly as I can. I hope you all have a great Labor Day weekend and that you enjoy a little bit of downtime. You've certainly earned it with all of the work we've already done so far. And when we get back, we will be at midterm for this 8-week class, which is tremendously hard to believe. So to give you a little overview of what's coming up, we have this comparative ad essay. Then we're going to have an article comparison essay working with the articles that you previously picked out, one of which you've already worked with, and then we're going to shift gears and spend the rest of our time on the research paper. So the good news is we're at about the halfway point. So it'll all be over before you know it. If you need help, please get in touch. Have a good and safe weekend, and I will have some feedback to you soon.